Okay, now we're gonna put all of the transformations together. So we could have a stretch or a shrink, we could have a reflection, we could have a shift left or right, or a shift up or down, or we could have all of them. And so one of the things on this is being able to look at the equation that we're given and say, okay, this right here is what's happening based on the equation. So also, if you're having trouble with this, an idea I have of how you might be able to, fix that a little bit is get on Desmos and put in, y equals the absolute value of x, and then start adding these numbers in and see what they do. If you just put a 2 in front, you'll see that it makes it vertically go up faster. So it's a vertical stretch. You can use by or of here, and I tend to switch back and forth between which one I use. So it's a vertical stretch by 2. And then this plus 3 that's inside, plus 3 is right 3, but we're going to do the opposite, so we're going to shift left 3. Now the way we do this whenever there's more than one thing happening can be a little tricky, and there's only really one situation that you really have to pay attention to the order you're doing it, and we don't have that situation because it involves horizontal stretches and shrinks, so having a number inside the absolute value in front of x, and we're not going to do that, not right now at least. So if I look at this and say, okay, I need to take my graph, I need it to go up faster, it stretches by 2, but I also need to shift it left 3. The shift left and right and the shift up and down, that's going to affect our vertex, because our vertex is normally at 0, 0. Our lowest point, right, is normally at 0, 0. So the shift left 3 is going to move the vertex. And from there, once I've moved left or right and up and down, I need to account for a reflection if I have one, and also a vertical stretch or shrink. So in this case, I just have a vertical stretch of 2. And so from that vertex, I'm going to go up 2 and over 1 instead of up 1 and over 1. Then I'm going to do it again. Then I'm going to go the other way. And remember, it makes a V, not a straight line. And so there we go. Vertical stretch by 2, shift left 3. Let's look at B. So we have this 1/2 in front, and it's negative. So those I like to think of separately. The negative is telling us to reflect over the x-axis, okay? The 1/2 is telling us that we have a vertical shrink or compression of 1/2. And then the -4 is telling us to shift down because it's on the outside. So that's 3 things we have to do all together. So again, we take this in pieces. We start with our vertex. Our vertex is, since it's normally at 0, 0, is only going to be affected by our shift left, right, up, or down. So I'm going to move from 0, 0 to 0, -4. And that's where my vertex is. Now, I'm going to think about these next 2 things at kind of the same time because I'm reflecting over the x-axis. And this is what's going to seem weird, is that, about reflecting, is that the order we do this in, we actually are reflecting before we move it down. So if you imagine, like, the order we're actually doing this in is to do the 1/2 part, and then to do the negative, which flips it down, and then we would shift it down. So in case you're like trying to make that make sense in your head, I just realized I kind of glossed over that a little bit. So the other thing to do is just with things like absolute value and parabolas to think, well, when it's negative, it opens down instead of up. And that would probably be enough information for you. So it's going to open down, and our shrink of 1/2 means that when I go down 1, I need to go over 2 instead of 1. And then I need to go down and over again for my second set of points here and here. Now this last one has all of the things. We've got a reflection, and I'm just going to say reflect. We've got to be careful here because 2/3 is less than 1. So that is a vertical shrink of 2/3. I don't write it as a vertical shrink of negative 2/3, and really you shouldn't write it that way because the negative is telling us something else. You can't shrink. You're not shrinking negatively. The negative is telling you to make it open down. The 2/3 is telling you to shrink it. The +2 on the inside is going to be a shift left 2, and then the -1 or the -1 on the outside is going to move it down 1. So while this isn't necessarily the order of what is actually happening on the equation, the order that you can do this in that will make sure that everything gets in the right place is to start first by shifting the vertex. The vertex is normally at 0, 0. We're going to move it left 2 and down 1. Okay? Then we look at whether it's positive or negative. It's negative, so it's going to open down. And instead of going down 1 over 1, we need to go down to right 3. And you should be thinking right kind of slope, that the slope of this is 2/3, or negative 2/3 actually, because it's opening down. And then like that, and then we go the other way. And the other way. Like so. So that's how we do it. Give it a try. If you need to use the solutions to help you, that's understandable. If you want to hop on Desmos, which it's Desmos is spelled like this, you can use it in a browser, or it does have an app that you can download on your phone or tablet. I feel like I'm advertising for this, but like it's completely free. I don't know how they make money. Yeah, anyway. You know, use Desmos to like maybe put things in one at a time and see how it's shifting and things like that. So thanks for watching.